Hello everyone, my name is Putu Prabarajni Kalinda Saraswati from Hang Tuah 5 Senior High School. Today I will be telling you the mystery of Terror of Andong Pocong in Sidoarjo. This story was developed in the north area of Sidoarjo, more specifically in district Taman and Sukodono in the year of 2006 until 2008. This story also clings tight to the Japanese people's beliefs towards mystical beings, which also caused the story to spread from one person to another. It is told that sometime between this month, there happened to be a wedding around the region that has been previously said. The wedding had been planned perfectly, starting from the proposal, marriage contract, marriage banquet, and up until the honeymoon. But, like most stories, it all started with a tragedy, and of course, our story as well. The tragedy started whilst the wedding was underway. Alas, there was one thing missing from the wedding, and that is the marriage approval from the bride's family. The wedding was indeed planned in secret, only with the approval from the groom's family. At first, the bride's family had no knowledge of the wedding's planning, but of course, they quickly caught on the act. They became suspicious of their daughter's behavior, who often went out and was often seen with her soon-to-be groom. Everything made sense when the couple held the wedding. One of the bride's family members found out about this and told the bride's parents. They were infuriated the moment they heard that their daughter was getting married without their approval. They called up the rest of the family members to crash the wedding and prevent it from happening. But alas, when they had arrived, the wedding had already ended. The newlywed couple were currently being paraded around the village using andong or delman, or in other words, a wooden carriage pulled by horses. The bride's enraged family members immediately made a commotion by trying to disperse the marriage process. Chaos ensues. The groom's family tried their best to block and stop the bride's family from joining the procession. Fighting and attacking each other between the two parties is inevitable. The atmosphere was chaotic. The tragedy happened amidst all the mayhem. The bride's family were struggling to get to the carriage that carried the newlywed couple to force the bride to come back home. But they were blocked by the groom's family. Then it turned out that there were some who escaped from the groom's family's ambush and pushed towards the carriage, while the others attempted to stop and take control of the carriage. Because of this, the carriage driver panicked and tried to escape the carriage by jerking the horse's reins vigorously to accelerate the horse's pace. The horses were taken aback and they recklessly ran as fast as they could without caring about whatever was in front of them. The fast running of the horses made the family members who had previously tried to take over the wheel and steal the bride back had to recoil, leaving the bride and the coachman behind. Without the coachman being able to control it, the carriage was speeding towards every direction. At that moment, the carriage was brought to the middle of the highway by the panicked horses. By chance, a huge truck was passing by and violently collided with the carriage. The coachman had a chance to save himself, but tragically, the couple, on the other hand, weren't so lucky. The newlywed couple and the horses died instantly. The people around weren't able to do anything in time. The bodies of the bride and groom and the horses and the carriage were then secured. The two families who were previously involved in a dispute turned into hysterical
hysterical tears when they saw the two bodies of the two victims. What happened next was just the usual funeral ceremony. The two bodies were quickly taken care of for immediate burial. Over time, people began to forget this incident. But that doesn't mean that the story will end here.
Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, rumors spread that there was a wandering ghost. Rumors circulating said that one night, someone heard a knock on their door. And, due to curiosity, that person opened the door. But, the moment the door flung open, the person disappeared without a trace. This caused the rumor to spread like wildfire. The story kept spreading. Some speculated that the ghost could be connected to the incident involving the newlywed couple and the carriage. And finally, it became a story that is believed to be a demon or a ghost that roams around sitting on a carriage in the form of a pocong, hereinafter referred to as the Andong Pocong. Which brings us to the conclusion that Andong Pocong is the spirit of a bride who died with her carriage, as told before. Their unsettled spirits will then look for prey, to take revenge by going around late at night riding the carriage. The spirits will then stop in front of the house of the person who will become the next victim. The spirit will then knock on the door. What happens next depends on whether or not the victim will respond to the knocking. If the victim opens the door, then the spirit will kidnap the victim. And that is the urban legend of Andong Pocong. What we can learn from the story is a massive decision in life are well discussed with family, especially with our parents. We, as the younger generation, must be able to decide something without a rash. I'm Putu Prabarajni, Kalinda, Saraswati. Bye.